Hello and welcome to the Sacred Father series. So I am very excited about this. Hold on, I was going to go live here and it took a picture instead of going live. So one second. um, I am very excited about the Sacred Father series. So I did, as you know, the Sacred Mother series for Mother's Day, and I felt like, well, I can't just talk about the women, right? I need to also talk about the men, and can't just talk about the mothers. We also got to talk about the fathers. Um, and so I would, the other reason why I feel so passionately about this series here is because I am the mother of two boys. So a lot of our culture right now, which is beautiful, is really supporting the little girls and supporting, empowering little girls and this and that. And also sometimes as a mother of two boys, I feel like they get a little bit lost or a little bit mixed up in, or not lost, but like not as included in this yes, you're doing awesome kind of energy and all of these type of things. So I just really thought it was really important to include the men in this kind of discussion and include the fathers in this kind of discussion. And also I am married to a really beautiful man who is an amazing father, and I wanted to bring this topic to light. So we are going to be going over the next 4 days. We're going to be going over 4 father archetypes, the same style that we did for the sacred mother archetypes. So today we are going to be starting with the guardian father. So the guardian father is the protector of safety and of structure. And so this guardian father, he is really the steadfast one. He is the dependable one. He shows up. He provides this stability, this container for his family, for himself and his family. So he teaches this really through action. And he believes his role is to shield the family from harm. So the guardian's symbol is really the shield. And this shielding that he's doing is also, our guarding that he's doing is physically, financially, and emotionally. It's sort of the full spectrum. And as we discuss these different archetypes, we are going to talk about the light side of it and the dark side of it, or the shadow side of it, what can kind of show up. So he is here to shield the family from harm, but in his desire to protect, he may also unintentionally shut down those emotional connections or the softer side of things. So vulnerability can feel really threatening to his sense of control. So when that vulnerability comes up, it can be kind of shut down. So the guardian father he's very grounded, he's loyal, he's protective, and he's very physically present. So this isn't to say that he's not involved, right, or not attentive to his family. It's just that sometimes he can be emotionally distant. He can be rigid and sometimes really value rules over relationship. Now, I said it's this way, it needs to be this way, I'm keeping you safe. And that can kind of cause a little bit of friction. He can even confuse sometimes strength with stoicism as well. So what might lead someone to this kind of archetype? So some things that would lead a man to be this guardian father figure would be that he was raised with high expectations and little emotional expression. So it wasn't really modeled for him. It was really about the how you're showing up versus how you're feeling when you show up, right? Cultural messaging that equates manhood with strength rather than softness. So this is where you hear things like, "Oh, man up," or "be a man" when you're being vulnerable, and it's not really a lot of space for that. And then also this sort of archetype can come up when someone has personal trauma that made them feel like safety was control. So if you didn't have a lot of control in your life and it was all over, having that control and having that structure becomes that safety. What it can feel like when you're being raised by a guardian father is you can feel protected but not necessarily understood. You do feel safe, you feel like that container is being held, but maybe you don't necessarily feel like you're being heard, or you don't really feel like there's a two-way street for those conversations. When you're raised by this guardian, you learn discipline, structure, and hard work. And I'm not saying that those are bad things. Absolutely, we all need this balance of the masculine and the feminine. We need discipline, we need structure, and the ability to work hard in our lives, right? When you're being raised by a guardian, struggle to share emotions or receive comfort beyond practical support is one of the things that can come up. So yes, your needs are being met. What do you have to complain about? You have a roof over your head, you're being fed, and everything is in its place. So what do you need? Or what more do you need than that? It can kind of be that struggle when it's like, well, I need this emotional connection that's not being fed. And they may have feared failure or emotional messiness, because if something is not met to that standard, then we have this fear of failure, because then our value and our worth can be tied into that performance, right? Not performance, but output, that hard work, right? And there's emotional messiness because there wasn't a space for them to feel those emotions. So some of the questions that we can ask ourselves in recognizing this guardian father figure in ourselves is, do I equate love with responsibility more than presence? So this can kind of come in a little messy with the like love languages, right? Because if the love language is, why am I struggling to remember this, is acts of service, right? Then it can be like, well, this responsibility, this is my presence, this is my love that I'm giving you. I did all of these things, I've created all of this, but it's more so the attention that they're craving. So the quality time, right? Do I struggle to share emotion or be vulnerable with my child or children or my partner? So those are some things that you can also be asking yourself if this guardian father archetype is part of your being. Another one is, do I prioritize keeping everyone safe over being emotionally available? So sometimes this is like, okay, I don't care about your feelings right now because these needs need to be met right now. We're not even, it's almost like this sort of survival kind of energy. So those are sort of the light and the dark aspects of it. So let's just review that a little bit. So the guardian father is very grounded, he's very loyal, very protective, and physically present, but maybe not always emotionally there. He can be very emotionally distant, rigid, rules over relationship kind of energy, and that's where we find this beautiful balance. And the sacred invitation for the guardian father is to balance structure with that softness. So to realize that true strength includes the ability to listen, to cry, to stay present in emotional spaces without needing to fix. So that's another thing. The guardian father, in this effort to provide this safe container, wants nothing to be wrong, right? And so if the emotions are coming up, I need to fix them. And so this is more about just being present in those emotional spaces. And when this balance of structure and softness can happen, he really becomes the sacred guardian. So a man who offers both of the security, the safety, the structure, the physical presence, and the soul connection, the ability to really connect and feel and leave space for all of the emotions and all of the broad spectrum of life and experiences. So today that was the guardian father, protector of safety and structure. I'm really excited because I'm going to continue this over the next 3 days, and tomorrow is the provider father. So thank you for joining me. You can also check out our men's collection on our website that talks about different styles and different stones and crystals that are going to help to support these archetypes. All right, thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.